Is romance dead in the modern world? Why am I asking? Well, the other day I was talking with my mom over lunch and I asked her about how she and my dad met. Let me tell you, the story's straight out of a K-drama low-key. When I heard the story, it made me wonder where the romance has gone in the modern world. It seems like the most common occurrence in this day and age is hookups, toxic relationships, cheating, and overall just guys and girls going straight for each other's jugular.
Yo, guys and girls going at each other be the main thing I'm always seeing on social media. If a guy posts something, even if they're not even trying to target girls, they'll respond like in a defensive way, like they're getting targeted, and vice versa. If a dude posts something, if a girl posts something, the dudes do the same thing.
Because they see the other party as the most heinous and vile human beings whose sole purpose is to ruin lives. And there's a truth to what's being said because, just look at the state of dating relationships today. You could probably even ask your parents for advice on how to get a partner, and when they give you their advice, you'll probably think that that wouldn't work today or that people would be weirded out if you tried it. And it makes me wonder
Exactly. You cannot be no lover boy. You can't be none of that.
how it came to this point. What was originally seen as a romantic gesture that would move hearts has now become cringe or doing too much. Like y'all, you probably wouldn't be alive today had your dad not pulled out that move on your mom. And I get it, times change and culture shifts. But I've gotta wonder, are we moving forwards or backwards? Let's talk about it. The type of information you consume on a regular basis heavily influences your perspective on this topic, which makes sense because your cognitive library of information and experiences shapes your worldview. Let's say you lived a simple life as a farmer in a small but closely knit community where everyone knew and looked out for each other. You spend your free time taking long walks, enjoying nature, and volunteering in community events. Your day-to-day experiences mainly consist of hard but fulfilling work, tranquility, and joy. With this type of lifestyle, you probably have a more positive and optimistic outlook on life. Now, on the other hand, let's say this isn't really theoretical anymore, but let's take your and most people's lives as an example. You're probably working a stressful job that you might not particularly enjoy but endure anyway because it gets the bills paid. Because it's so stressful and draining, you go to the internet to mentally escape and recharge. And it's on the internet where you get absolutely overloaded with all kinds of information. News, celebrity drama, content creators being exposed for and people saying the most insulting and hateful things because it's the internet. Everyone's anonymous and therefore aren't held accountable for their actions. When this is a type of information
Nah, that's one thing I noticed. Because social media is anonymous, you never know who it is. They got burner accounts or they just typing behind the screen, keyboard warriors. They can say whatever they want. They have a false sense of confidence. Confidence that they would never have in real life. So it's making people, rage bait you or do whatever, or even just violate that would never ever in their life even think of doing that if it was in person. So it's just a lot of other stuff going on for real. Social media really might be the downfall to everything.
you're constantly exposed to. Would it be any surprise if you think the world is on fire and that there's no hope for humanity? The same logic can be applied to your perspective on dating. The type of relationship content that is most likely to be fed to your algorithm are the ones that are negative and hostile towards the opposite sex. And this makes sense because it's engaging and gets a reaction out of you, whether it be because you share the same experience or because it's rage bait. My ex cheated on me this, my partner is toxic and manipulative that. Men ain't shit. Women get the ick when a guy breathes. I have to train my boyfriend because he doesn't know how to treat a woman right. Women like to cause problems and make things difficult for the sake of it. It just keeps going on and on and on like an
It just keep back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. No accountability. Men blame women for this, women blame men for this. No type of accountability, just back and forth, which is very annoying. It's so hard to find. Like I be telling y'all, I want a girl, whatever the case is, but it's fake so hard to find, a relationship in today's day and age, especially in America, especially in Western countries, first world, all these Western countries. It's extremely hard, bro.
ping pong match. And again, there's a truth to these things, but when you're constantly consuming this type of information, you end up getting stuck in an echo chamber where all you hear is that men are trash, women are problematic, and because others are reaffirming what everyone else is saying, you assume that it must be the norm, not the exception. And maybe you're thinking, well, yeah, everyone's saying it's true. Everyone has shared similar personal experiences before. Doesn't that mean that it is the norm? Not necessarily. Remember, the type of content that is most likely to be fed to the algorithm and go viral are the ones that are the most
Social media really killed the dating market. Facts, because now people have a false sense of options. They think they have more options than they do, so they could be with somebody. Let's say a girl is with a guy who's treating her really good. He's treating her extremely good, giving her flowers, talking to her nice, not yelling at her, being patient with her. As soon as one little disagreement happen or she think he's doing one little weird thing, oh, I have options anyway. I go on social media and post this. Now she'll post it on social media, get a few people swiping up hard eyes. Now she forget all about him. And now she's like, I don't care. And then it's a cycle. Then they go to the next man. Do the same thing. They go to the next man. Then by the time they 19 years old, they got 30 bodies. You know what I'm saying? Because they running through people and, oh, I could throw them away easily because I have other options. Yeah, I know somebody else would treat me better. Oh, the person on Love Island. Yeah, what's the name on Love Island would have treated me way better. All right, cool. I'll throw him away. On to the next man. I don't like that.
It's emotionally charging and engaging, and negative emotions are far more potent and impressionable than positive emotions. You hear it all the time. People online may get thousands of positive comments and compliments, but as soon as they read one negative comment, it lives in their head rent-free for a longer
Facts. Facts, though. I used to deal with that same thing. Now I really don't care no more, but I used to deal with that same thing. I ain't gonna lie. I be getting mad positive comments. Be like, okay, cool. As soon as I get one negative comment, that's stuck in my head for mad long, gang.
period of time than the positive ones, and it's because negativity is far more potent. That's why the news consists mainly of fear-mongering and negative events, and why everyone is drawn to drama. We engage with negativity far more than we do with positivity, and that's why it's constantly being fed to us. Furthermore, people are more likely to share negativity than positivity. If you've been wronged, you're more inclined to voice out your grievance and seek retribution, right? You have something to prove, and when you're validated for it, it feels amazing. Especially more so when you've had a history of bad relationships and therefore hardly ever experienced validation and reassurance. But on the other hand, if your life is just swell and everything is going well for you, maybe you'd want to share your experience at times, but more often than not, you're keeping it to yourself because you're just vibing and enjoying the moment. When you're happy and genuinely enjoying the moment, you aren't going, hold on, I'm going to put this on my Instagram or TikTok to show how happy I am. You'd be breaking yourself out of the immersion. And at that point, you aren't thinking about how happy you are. Instead, you're thinking about wanting other people to see that you appear happy. There's a subtle difference.
You gotta think about it. Even if you were a teen, competition are celebrities and established men, because that's what all girls. I think that's why younger women be going for older men as well. Because if you're a teen, your competition is celebrities, Michael B. Jordan, Chris Brown, unrealistic people. Unrealistic people. Your competition, that's where the celebrity crushes come into play. And the celebrity crushes is low key even messing up relationships. Low key. Cause I know for me, if somebody say celebrity crush, what? I go ahead, you acting crazy. Or you gotta go there, gangster. But it's just so crazy. You're a teen that's nowhere near established, and your competition is people like Michael B. Jordan. How the freak? What? People like LeBron. Freak is going on, bro. I'm saying people, this social media, bro. People need to understand how to take what they have and cherish it. Some people even be thinking that they're higher in the market than they are. I'm not trying to say nobody ugly, nobody whatever, whatever. It's not even that. But let's say somebody who matches you, looks wise, personality wise, they match you. You want to go out for the next, you know what I'm saying? The next highest person, because on social media you seeing them whatever, so you think you're higher than you actually are. Like, nah, I don't got. He said LeBron suck. I'm talking about just because he's extremely successful. Comparing him to a teenager is crazy. Without that money, without that money and the fame, they're just normal. But in today's society, that's the money and the fame is what makes you everything. You get what I'm saying? So it's like it's supposed to be like that. They're just people that just have a better job than me. Technically, they have a different job than me. You know what I'm saying? But
Put more succinctly, there's more to life than what goes on in our screens. The ones that are in happy, healthy relationships aren't living their lives on the internet, which is why we rarely ever see any positivity about relationships online. And for the scarce few that
no cap, when I get a relationship, nobody gonna know nothing about my joint. I'm gonna be chilling. Word. It's gonna be super chilling.
do exist online, we most likely won't run into it because it's not as emotionally engaging or relatable, and therefore won't be fed to the algorithm. But overall, something to keep in mind is that happy and healthy relationships don't exist online. They exist in the real world. This isn't to say that the things people complain about online are invalid. Far from it, actually. The reality is that there are so many people out there who have no business getting into relationships. Many of us today have a lot of baggage and issues about ourselves that we need to sort out, but instead of doing the internal work to fill that void within ourselves, we seek other people to fill that void for us. And surprise, surprise, it doesn't work. We're not filling that void, we're just hiding it so that we no longer are aware that it exists. And this results in us projecting our insecurities and problems onto our partners, leading us to make stupid choices and deeply hurting them in the process. Or, on the other hand, it leaves us susceptible to ignoring red flags and falling or settling for people that don't give us the love and respect we deserve. Either way, we end up a statistic in the cycle of trauma and toxicity. We're human, so of course we have our flaws and ignorant moments. The bitter reality is that sometimes we may need to go through these experiences to grow and learn from them. It only becomes an issue when we don't hold ourselves accountable for our actions and instead wallow in our own misery. If we want things to change, we simply have to do better. And on one hand, it's great that social media is providing people with a platform.
Facts, I see so many relationships getting ruined due to the internet. Best to keep it proper. Yo, a lot of relationships get ruined because of the internet. Because you was liking this person, this person liking your joint. You thinking this person like you think you got more options than you actually do. So you go break up with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and now you trying to go back to this person that was only just liking the picture you posted because it was very revealing. So they don't really like you. Now you like. It's too much stuff going on. I ain't gonna lie.
Platform to raise awareness and call people out on their bullshit, because the only way to address a problem is if we're even aware of it in the first place. But I don't think people are getting that message. Instead, they take on a victim mentality and allocate all their efforts into antagonizing others as opposed to working on themselves. That is what's dangerous about the negative relationship content online. People aren't mature enough to mentally process the information in a productive and healthy manner. And because of this, that type of content polarizes people's opinions on the opposite sex and heavily influences the way they approach relationships. Imagine an impressionable and naive teenager who knows absolutely nothing about relationships. All they see online is people saying, "Men ain't shit, be your own boss bitch," and have these men bow down to you like
Yo, that's all they see on the internet. And now, especially if they're young and haven't what's name, they're going into relationships thinking that same exact thing. Okay, whatever. I can go, okay. If he, as soon as they think you being sneaky or think you doing something, even if you ain't do nothing wrong, they overthinking it. I already knew this was gonna happen because I already knew men ain't ish, blah blah. Cool, break up with you, and you like, what the freak happened? You mad confused.
online is people saying, "Men ain't shit, be your own boss bitch," and have these men bow down to you like the queen you are. Or, "Women are objects to be controlled and dominated. Be an alpha male and treat women as less than you because that's the only way
That's also something that be a problem
you'll
too.
get their attention." When this is the type of content being imprinted into their minds, do you think they'll be in the right headspace to have a healthy relationship? No. If anything, they're
That's true. That's true. That's definitely true.
more likely to feed into the cycle of toxicity. People don't know how to act or think for themselves anymore, and if people aren't getting guidance in the real world, they end up seeking it in the online world. And unfortunately, a majority of the content online is not conducive to building healthy, well-rounded people. Dating is in a really tricky spot right now. There's so many factors and complexities that play a role into why it's become the toxic cesspool it is today, and the content online is only exacerbating the problem. There's so much more I want to talk about regarding this topic, but for now, the main takeaway is this: go outside and touch grass. Nah, I'm just playing. Partially. But seriously, try not to be as chronically online as much. It's messing with your mental and skewing your perspective of the world. Instead, work on building more emotional and mental awareness so that you can discover what internal work needs to be done. And lastly, take what you see online with a grain of salt. Well, actually a whole gallon, because the online world isn't our reality, and we'll never be happy if we try to make it out to be. Alright, that's it for now. Take care, guys. See you next time.
Bruh, W video. Those Pop Balloon shows really show how cooked dating is. Or Pop Balloon based off of another female not liking you. Word. I seen this one where it was like, what's your sign? And then he was like, they were talking about signs like Gemini, Cancer, or whatever. They're like, what's your sign? Bro was like, why you want to know? They was like, I just want to know. Cause one of them signs I really like, one of them signs I really don't. He was like, I'm a Gemini. She popped a balloon. And then she was like, yeah, I don't like Gemini. I love Cancer though. He was like, you know I was trolling, right? I just wanted to see what you was going to do. I'm a Cancer. And she was like, Nah, but still, you like, bro, calm down. I just want to show you that it doesn't like that these signs or whatever don't mean anything. These pop the balloon shows be getting me tight because it will be something so stupid. They will pop the balloon off of like you really dead seriously, bro. I gotta find some videos. These pop the balloon videos be getting me tight because some of these videos they would dead pop the balloon off the dumbest thing ever. The dumbest thing ever, bro. And it's like, what? You really not like y'all not serious. Y'all can find somebody that's a perfect person for you, but the way his shoe was tied today or whatever it was, now all of a sudden gonna pop the balloon. Come on, bro. I remember they said this one dude looked too successful, look like he can't have fun or something. It was something weird, bro. D. Smith said, "Don't send me on that show." Yeah. You gonna be like Aaron the Plumber on that show, bro. You gonna be like Aaron the Plumber on that show for real.